Hey, what's up? Welcome to Fathering Our Future. I'm Anthony Vandegrift. I'm not the perfect dad, but every day, just like you, I am trying to be better. So my youngest brother-in-law had his first kid not that long ago, and that inspired me to go back and revisit something that I did a couple years back. I wrote a book called Cut the Crap, Direct Tips for Becoming a Dad, and I know there are plenty of people who are new to fatherhood. There are plenty of people who maybe you've been a dad for a while, but you're making that first step to really be intentional about fatherhood. And then there's going to be people who are expecting to become dads. And if I'm honest, none of us really have it figured out. I don't know everything there is to know about fatherhood, and I don't know anyone who does. If they claim to know it, you should probably run because they might be a bit delusional and not realize it. So what I'm going to do for you today is give you some insights from this book that I wrote called Cut the Crap. I'm going to go through the tips that I provide in this for characteristics and behaviors, and I'm going to throw in some bonus stuff such as items that you should actually buy when you have kids. I'm going to tell you the things that really helped us out and the stuff that was kind of stupid. But this is for new dads today, and I hope that this helps you out. I want to break in real quick and let you know how much I appreciate you listening to the podcast. My prayer is that I can be a help and a blessing to you on your fatherhood journey. So if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe. And if at any point you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email at fatheringourfuture@gmail.com. And if you want other good content, you can go to the website, check out the blog, and other free resources. Thank you again for listening. Be blessed. Do you remember when you became a dad and all of a sudden those New Balances just hit differently? There's something about fatherhood that impacts your wardrobe, and I'm happy to share that I can help you with that now. Fathering Our Future now has merch. We have sweatshirts and hats and other pieces of clothing that you will enjoy sporting as a father. Just go to fatheringourfuture.com, select merch, or click the link in the description of this episode and get you something that you will enjoy and be proud to wear as a dad. Dad, I want you to know I care about you and I am on your side. So I have a free gift for you. I've put together a 7-day devotional, extracted from my devotional, Following Our Father, to help you realign your identity as a dad to be the dad that God has called you to be and that your children need you to be. Simply click the link in the description below and get your free 7-day devotional. All right, first I want to start with some of the household items. I talk a little bit about this in the book, but what I'm really going to focus on today are behaviors, mentalities, practices. These are the things that I want to focus on because these are the things that really make a difference in your life. And again, if you're a new dad, this is for you. If you're about to be a dad, this is for you. If you're thinking about being a dad, this is for you. And even if you are a dad, maybe some of these old foundational reminders will serve you today too. But I would recommend that you find a new dad, find someone who's getting ready to become a dad, and you share this with them. Maybe you buy them a copy of the book, or maybe you just send them the link so that they can get the free digital copy of it. Anyway, I want to start first with some of the material items that I have found to be incredibly helpful as a father. First up is this door lock. There's a link in the description for all of this stuff, but this stupid little lock has been a lifesaver. It's incredibly strong. You can get them at Home Depot. You can get them on Amazon. I think you can get a 2-pack on Amazon for cheaper. So that link's probably going to be in the description for this episode. But you just screw it in the door frame high enough, and it keeps the kids from getting out. Maybe they can reach the lock and the doorknob, but they've got to be considerably older and taller in order to get this stupid thing off. And honestly, my mom struggled to get this thing off once they put one on their house. Once we started having kids, she couldn't do it, and she's a grown adult woman, so it's tough. It takes a little bit of movement this way before you can wrap it around. It's like a puzzle for kids, so even if they can't reach it, it still takes them some time. And I highly recommend this because your kids are going to be curious, and they're going to try to get outside. There was one day in particular, my daughter Reagan, I think she actually ended up going out through the garage because we didn't have one of these locks in the garage, and the garage door was open because I was working outside. She walked out of the garage door, walked around the side of the house, walked up to the front where we had this little swing that hung off of the tree, and she was just swinging back and forth. She was just having fun. For her, it was no big deal. Thankfully, we lived at the time in a beautiful, very safe, quiet neighborhood. I used to leave my wallet in the car with the car unlocked because I had no concern. We don't live there anymore, but still a nice place where we live. Anyway, the door lock, you need one of these. Secure your home. The second thing, night lights. Now, there are little night lights that we have currently that you can get, but what I recommend are the outlets that have the night lights, because then you could still have the two plugs if you have a two-plug outlet and you don't have to use something up for a night light. Those are the ones that I really recommend. They're very easy to swap out. You need a flathead screwdriver. You unscrew the old one, you screw the new one in. It's a piece of cake. It's super duper easy. Link in the description. You need these because your kids are going to wake up and they're going to roam. I do think kids have night vision until about the age of 3. I've talked about this in previous episodes. I'm not going to talk about it now. But when you are allowing your child to sleep in their bed and you hear them cry and you have to go tend to them, navigating the dark as an adult is not always something that we do well. So when you have a little bit of a nightlight just that casts down on the floor and you can see if there's a Lego or a Hot Wheel that's going to amputate your toe, it is a blessing to have. So I highly recommend this little nightlight. This might be one of the things that I recommend the most, and that is soft close toilet lids, because kids, once they start using the bathroom, they forget and they slam those things down, and it sounds like a gunshot going off. And occasionally you might, soil yourself because you're like, what in the world just happened? If you get a soft close toilet lid, that doesn't happen. I'm going to have links for all of this stuff, so you can check it out. But I highly recommend that you do this. When we moved into our new home, this was one of the first projects I did because they were not soft close lids on the toilets. And I told my wife, I got to go to the store. And I went to the store. I bought 3 soft close toilet lids, swapped them out, quick and easy. Happy I did it. You need to do it too. If your kids take binkies, my 2 kids in the middle did not, but my 2 kids beginning and end, they have used binkies. They sell glow-in-the-dark binkies, where the little head of the binky glows in the dark. When your kid needs the binky to soothe and they're trying to sleep, and you walk into a dark room and you can't really see anything and you're trying to feel around for the binky and then you're getting frustrated and then you have to turn on the light and then the baby wakes up and then you've ruined your sleep, all of this can be prevented by having a binky that you can see with the lights off. It's amazing technology, and I promise you, I have loved these stupid little things. Also, binky straps. Now, you don't let the kids sleep with the binky strap on, but when your kids are moving around, they do this little game sometimes where they like to see how far they can spit their binky out. If it's got a strap, it might go far, but it comes right back to them, and it's great. The only thing you have to worry about is when they start to crawl, you might want to take it off. Otherwise, it just drags the floor. And if you've got dogs and cats like we do, it can get pretty nasty. So, but still, the binky strap is an absolute game changer. You don't have to worry about binkies falling off in department stores or in parking lots or gross places that you have to walk. The binky strap saves the day. This is an honorable mention. This is the most costly of all the things, but this is something that we got for baby number 4 that I wish we had from the beginning, and that's a Nectar bed. Now, they have other brands of this, but we got the beds where it's 2 twin XL mattresses put together and the platforms. So my wife is able to elevate her side without elevating mine, and I love this stupid thing. My wife nursed all the kids, at least number 4, as long as she would allow her, because Jules was all about the bottle. So she quickly stopped the nursing. She just refused to do it. So my wife was like, okay, you win. I was 3 for 4. And it was nice when she was nursing her, though, that she could just lift her side of the bed up and completely leave me undisturbed. What a blessing that was, until I had to start feeding the baby at night because she switched to formula. But anyway, it's just super nice. And especially if you put a TV in your room, which some people are very opposed to that. After 3 kids, we decided to do it, and I kind of like it. But it's nice to just elevate without having to rearrange pillows and all. This is why it's an honorable mention. You don't have to have it. It is a luxury, but it is a luxury that I wish I would have had with all of the kids. So anyway, all of this stuff you'll be able to see in the description of the episode. I just wanted to get through that fast, and I took way too much time. Let me quickly go through the things that you need as you start out this journey called fatherhood. If you're new to this, if you're about to start this thing, here's what you need. First thing is perspective. This was so big for me. I heard from so many people that life was going to end, life was going to change, that we needed to take some big getaway trip, that we needed to do any and all the things that we considered to be fun before the child arrived, because we weren't going to be able to do that again. And so there was very much this doom and gloom message associated with having children. I'm so thankful I had one friend of mine, one friend that I had a lot of fun with. Crazy times, fun memories. He had 2 sons. And when he found out that my wife and I were expecting, he told me, having kids is the most fun you're ever going to have. You're going to love it. And that coming from him, with our history of fun and craziness, I thought, okay, it's got to be true. If he says that, like, I know how much we've laughed. I know how much fun we have had. But if he's telling me that kids are even more fun than that, all these other people have to be crazy. And he was right. And all these other people were crazy. When you have kids, it is the most fun that you get to have. Now, if you fight that because you think, oh, this is just a drudgery, well, you're going to cast your thoughts onto your reality and you're going to dampen everything down. But if you go into this thing realizing that this is fulfilling, that this is a privilege, that this is the greatest blessing that you get on this earth, and that it's so much fun, the most fun that you'll get to have in your life, oh man, kids are the best. Kids are great. I absolutely love it. When I walk around places and it's just me and the 4 kids, because sometimes that is the case, people are like, oh, you got your handful. I'm like, I sure do. I said, but it is a whole lot of fun. I always let them know it's a whole lot of fun. And some people look at me like I'm crazy, but I know that they're the crazy one because I'm thankful that I have the right perspective on this thing called fatherhood, that it is fun. And so that is what you need as a new dad, as someone expecting to be a dad. You need the right perspective. Having kids is going to be the most fun that you have. The second thing is you've got to be willing to change. You've got to be willing to change because you are changing. Being a dad is not what you do, but it's who you are. You are getting ready to transform. You are created by God, not just to be a man, but you get married and then you become a husband because you dissolve yourself a little bit here. And you and your wife become one. You become a new unity. You become a part of something else where it's not just about you and what you want. And then you have kids and you lose a little bit less of yourself there because now you get to live for them. Now you have others to give to and to pour into. So yeah, you need to be willing to change because everything is about to change. It changes for the good, but if you fight it, this is where the tension comes in. If you resist, you are creating the problems. You need to be willing to change. And the other thing that I'll add to this is you have to continue to learn. And I'll throw this into change because your kids are growing up in a world that you did not grow up in. You can't say, well, I've experienced everything they're going to experience because that's not true. Maybe to some extent, but that's not true. You need to continue to learn as your kids learn if you're going to raise them the right way. If you're going to complete your mission as a father and make disciples, you have got to learn. You have got to grow so that, one, they actually know how to grow and they don't resent you as they grow naturally. You've got to be willing to change. And with that, you've also got to be willing to learn. The next thing is discipline. Now, I'm not talking about how you discipline your kids. I'm talking about how you discipline yourself. You need to get into a routine now. And I'm going to tell you this. It is a challenge as a father when your focus and your attention is God, your wife, your children, and then you. When you come in the 4th slot there, you're not always going to be able to faithfully serve God, your wife, and your kids and maintain the routine that you set for yourself. Maybe some people can do it, but I think by and large, you just need to be prepared to know that, okay, every morning at 5:30, I'm not going to be able to get up and go to the gym. Because some mornings, guess what? Your kid's going to be up before 5:30, and it's going to throw you off. And maybe that one morning where you expect your wife to help, she's sick. And what are you going to do? You're going to get angry about that because you have to serve your family? That sounds a little dumb when you actually say it out loud. You're not going to do that. You're going to recognize that it's not going to be always possible for me to have a routine that I can stick to without failure every single day. But what you can do is you can focus on the things that you want to accomplish. Make a list. So maybe what you want to complete in a day is you want to have time to pray. I make time to pray when I'm driving. When I'm driving and the kids are not in the car and it's just me, that is my prayer time. That's when I talk to God. That's when I lament. That's when I open up. That's when I worship. I do it in the car. Especially now, I have a long commute from wherever I'm going because we moved out to a hole in the forest, basically. I get a lot of prayer time, and I do it in the car. If I want to read the Bible, sometimes that gets in the car as well. I don't read on my phone because that's a quick way to die. What I do is I listen to it, and that's okay too. It's about taking in the Word. It's not about how fast can you get through it. Just take it in. Take it in all the time. It's what you're supposed to do. So develop certain things. If you want to exercise, great. But what does exercise look like? You have to be okay with exercise sometimes being a walk around the block with your kids. Maybe you're pushing a stroller. Maybe you're jogging with a stroller. Get the right stroller so that you can do that. Maybe you get to go to the gym from time to time. Good for you. But maybe sometimes you have to do push-ups in your closet. But you need to be disciplined about particular things that you want to do. So if you want to stay fit, which that's one thing I recommend that you're disciplined about, figure out ways that you can do it and create exceptions that you can, well, not necessarily exceptions, but audibles that you can call so that when things change, you can still do that. Same thing with prayer and your faith. Same thing with your education. If you want to grow, if you're trying to take classes, if you're trying to do school while you have kids, really think that through. Figure that out. Talk with your wife. How am I going to do this? How can we do this? You can figure it out. But the discipline thing has got to be there. Because if you just let everything fall apart, then you're going to start to crumble. And you're a huge part in your marriage. And you're also a huge part for your children, for your home, for your family. If you're going to lead this thing and you're falling apart, you're not leading anything. So you've got to have discipline for yourself. Hey, if you're a new dad or choosing to embark on a fresh start as a father, I have a gift for you. I wrote a book a while back called Cut the Crap, Direct Tips for Becoming a Dad. I don't teach you how to change a diaper. That one's totally on you. But I do talk about 5 elements that you need to focus on as a dad if you want to be the dad your children need you to be. And this is completely free. It is yours. There's no strings attached. The only thing that I'd like you to consider is if the book brings value to you as a father, make a contribution by going to fatheringourfuture.com/support. But you don't have to. Again, it is a free gift from me to you. The link is in the description after the end of the episode. Click it, get your copy, and I pray that it helps you. Everyone has an opinion on fatherhood, but there's only one place that we should actually look, and that's to God, our Father. That's why I wrote Following Our Father, a devotional for dads. In this, I cover 30 qualities and attributes of our Father in heaven that help us better understand our identity as dads. Each devotional is followed up with a daily step so that we can take the principles of our Father and immediately apply them to our own lives. This is a tool and a resource in your hands that will bless you. Click the link in the description and get yourself a copy of Following Our Father today. The next thing is community. You cannot do this alone. If you think, I can do this by myself, you're wrong. Now, I'm not saying you have to let other people in to teach, train, and discipline your kids. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is you need people in your life. You were created by God to be in relationships with people. And I've talked about this plenty of times. There's a great example with Elijah. When he isolates himself, this is when he starts to think about death. This is when he starts to see no value in his personal life because he has isolated himself. Same thing in the beginning in Genesis. God looks at Adam. Adam has all the animals. He has all of creation. He even has God. And God still says, it's not good that man is alone. The whole theology that God and man is a majority, not in God's eyes. Because God saw Adam with himself and he said, nope, inadequate. He needs people. He needs someone like himself to be in a relationship with. You need community, plain and simple. You isolate yourself, you're going to have awful thoughts. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to break yourself down. You need people to hold you up, to build you up, to edify you. You need community. You also need to make sure that you find community for your wife. So you're not going out and just looking for buddies that you can go hang out with and spend time with, go get lunch with. No, you're looking for families that your family can spend time with. Your wife might be great at finding friends, and maybe you don't have to do much. Okay. But if your wife is not great at finding friends, you need to do what you've got to do to make sure that you're getting together with other families so that your wife is connecting with other moms so that she can start to build friendships. Maybe she's got a friend and maybe you're not overly fond of her friend's husband. You might try to get over it. You might find out that he's not who you think, that maybe he's better, that maybe he's just quirky, maybe he's just introverted and you're not. And so you just see things differently. You need community for yourself and also for your family. Expectations. This is a big one. Life is going to change. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to drop standards, but you have to expect your kids to be kids. And for whatever reason, this is a big thing that I feel like people fail at. They fail at expecting their kids to be kids because they expect them after they've been told something once to have it figured out. I don't even know if there's been a single person on the planet who has done that at any point in their life where you've been told this is how you do it and then you've never done it wrong and you've only heard one time. I mean, maybe someone did it. Maybe it's in the Guinness Book of World Record. I don't know. But you typically need repetition to learn. And your kids need repetition to learn. Kids are kids. Kids are going to bring some craziness into your home. It's going to be a lot of fun. You need to perceive it that way going into this, but it's going to be crazy. You're going to be the family that you said, I will never be in your youthful ignorance. You're going to become that family. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to laugh about it. You're going to smile about it. And you're going to be like, look, this is who we are. We're having fun. And we're not going to try to be so strict and so stoic because Sister Karen over there thinks that, my kids should be robots. You need to expect your kids to be kids. You need to expect craziness. And you need to plan for that. Don't continue to do the same things that you did with just you or with just you and your wife when you have kids. You're not going to be able to go out to eat every single night or every single weekend or whenever it is because there's going to be times that your kid's not going to be controllable in a high chair. They're not going to want to drive around in a car seat all the time. They want to be home with you and with their mom. You cannot keep up the same lifestyle when you bring kids into the world. You've got to reorient some things, and you've got to adjust expectations to now include the child. I know it's mind-boggling, but you've got to adjust your expectations to now include this new life that is a part of your home and your family. Expectations is a big one. And this one should go without saying, but this is the last one that's in the book, and that is you've got to talk to your wife. And this is not just to keep your marriage alive and well. This is to really understand the responsibility of what's going on in your home. This is to make sure that you're on the same page. For example, maybe the way that you were raised is you weren't spanked. Maybe she was. Maybe that's all she knows when it comes to discipline. Maybe you think that's preposterous. You got to talk about that. Because if she does that and you lose it because you've never talked about how we're going to discipline kids, you got to talk about these things ahead of time. God forbid tragedy falls and something happens to you and your wife and the kid is just left with no mom and no dad. Who gets the kid? Hard conversation to have, but it's a conversation that you need to talk about. Who is going to get our children in the event that we die? It's a conversation that you have got to have. Even other conversations that are not so, dark and gloomy. Are we going to do Santa? Are we going to have the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny? Are we going to do the mythical made-up characters? Are our kids just going to grow up with the traditions and kind of know the stories, but know that mom and dad are the ones who do all this stuff? How are we going to go about that? And that can go into other stuff. How are we going to talk to our kids about sex and sexuality? What are we going to do? I mean, there's different things that different people grow up with. For some people, parts of their body are called different things. And so they grew up thinking, well, this is just what I was told it was called, so that's what we're going to call it. And it's going to be our little nickname for that. Or, maybe you just probably do the better thing and you call a penis and a vagina, and you don't get so weirded out by it because that's what they're called. Anyway, more on that on another episode coming soon. But you need to talk to your wife. You need to have these conversations. These are the big things that you have got to focus on as a new father. And the last thing, and I put this in the book, and again, you can get a copy of it for free. There's a link in the description below. You can buy a copy. I'll make sure I add that link as well. Get it, go through it. I'm giving you the treetop version. The book is short. I call it Cut the Crap for a reason. It's quick and to the point, so it's not the longest, most extensive book, but I might elaborate a little bit more on some of these points in the book than I do right now in the podcast. But the last thing that's in the book that I want to end with today is I want to encourage you. You're getting ready to embark on the most beautiful journey that you get to embark on. You get to do what God has created you to do. God's big plan involved man and woman being fruitful and multiplying. That's having a family. That's bringing kids into this world and raising them and discipling them and experiencing the love and the joy that comes with it. You are getting ready to do something that is the most fun that you will ever have. You are getting ready to experience the greatest fulfillment that you are privileged to experience in this life. So be encouraged, because it's so much fun and it is so great. And you will find yourself at some point thinking back on life and thinking, why would I have ever thought that I wanted what I wanted when I was younger? Why was this not always on my heart? Because I couldn't see life any other way. My kid, Frankie, he asks me periodically about basketball because I played basketball a lot. I'd play 4 or 5 nights a week. And he says, Dad, do you ever miss playing basketball? I said, yeah, I miss it sometimes. I said, but if I had to miss that on you and your sisters and your mom to play basketball, I said I wouldn't trade what I have now for any amount of basketball time. There's no way. If I never touch a basketball again, I'll be fine. I know I will, because he's going to want to play. He's going to be tall. He's going to think that he can beat me, but I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Dad's going to be ready. Anyway, this is the best. Fatherhood is the best. And I'm happy for you if you are a new dad. I'm happy for you if you're expecting your first child. I'm happy for you if you're 7 kids into this thing and you're just wanting to get back to the basics. I'm happy for you. I'm with you, and I'm here to encourage you. And get you a copy of Cut the Crap and go through it, pay attention to it, go through the application questions, make your notes, and prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for the greatest joy that you get in this life. Before we go, I just want to say congratulations to those of you who are new to this thing called fatherhood or are expecting to become a dad for the first time. I even want to say it to those of you who have been in the fatherhood game for a while, but you're taking that step, that first step to be intentional about fatherhood. Congratulations to each and every one of you. This is the most amazing opportunity that you will get to experience in this life. It is an absolute privilege. I just want you to know that if you've gleaned anything from what I had to share today, you can get a copy of this book, Cut the Crap. There are application questions that I would encourage you to go through, a place for you to take notes, and sometimes writing things down with a pen or pencil on paper just helps things stick. So you can get a physical copy. There's a link in the description, but I want you to get this. I want you to have this. I give it away for free, not the physical product because that costs money and I would lose money and I don't make money. So that wouldn't work out very well, but I will give you the digital download of this. It's the exact same thing. You'll get a PDF file of this book, Cut the Crap. All you have to do is give me your email address. And truth be told, I haven't been super great about my newsletter. So as of right now, you're not going to get bothered all that much. I promise to not be a pest. You give me your email and you get the free version of Cut the Crap. But if you want the physical copy because it helps and that's just how you prefer to read, you can get that too. Anyway, I just want you to know that I'm on your side on this thing called fatherhood. Whether you're brand new to the game or whether you feel a little more experienced and seasoned, I just want you to know you're never alone. You can always get help from me, fatheringourfuture@gmail.com, and I will help you the best that I can. But for now, I want to thank you for being with me. This is Fathering Our Future. I'm Anthony Vandegrift, and I hope you'll join me next time. Hey, one more time, I want to thank you for listening to Fathering Our Future. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, please do so wherever you listen and consider leaving a nice review because I would appreciate that. But if you're not connected to Fathering Our Future on social media, you can find it on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and there you're going to get some additional content on a more regular basis that you don't always get here on the podcast. Now, the last thing that I would like to ask of you is that you would consider becoming a financial partner of Fathering Our Future, because dads make a difference and dads are not disposable. Dads are vital and they are essential and they are needed. And the impact that dads make doesn't just reside in the home, but it has a ripple effect that goes to churches and communities and culture. And I'm inviting you to be a part of equipping and empowering and educating dads to be the dad that God has called them to be and that their children need them to be. You can become a financial partner with Fathering Our Future. It can be a one-time contribution, a monthly commitment, but by doing that, you play a direct role in impacting dads. You can check the link in the description below. You can pray about it. You can get on board. And I thank you in advance for becoming a part of Fathering Our Future in a special and a dynamic way. God bless you.